Captain Nkosi, Lieutenant Colonel Mangena, Brigadier Mkhabela, and General Mlauzi. Shortly after reporting for duty on the 17th April 2024, I received a call on the standby phone from Warrant Officer Malan. I'm not sure which unit of SAPS Warrant Officer Malan is from. Warrant Officer Malan requested that we attend to a crime scene at Vereeniging where a person was shot and killed while inside his vehicle. The case number lodged for the crime scene is case 275 of 4/2024. It's a Vereeniging case. After receiving a call from Warrant Officer Malan, I contacted Warrant Officer Masha to inform him that we have a crime scene to attend to in Vereeniging. We then sent a notification on WhatsApp standby group that we will be proceeding to crime scene in Vereeniging. Warrant Officer Masha and I then proceeded to the Vereeniging crime scene. On arrival at the crime scene, I noted that it was cordoned off and there were a number of police officers. We were welcomed by Warrant Officer Malan, who then explained to Warrant Officer Masha and I what had occurred. Thereafter, we started processing the scene. This took a few hours. Warrant Officer Masha and myself, between Warrant Officer Masha and myself, we agreed that ballistic analysis of Vereeniging crime scene was going to be conducted by me. It is a common practice for standby duty ballistic analysts to allocate crime scenes attended evenly to distribute the workload fairly. In this regard, I will be the one to complete the crime scene report for Vereeniging case. Warrant Officer Masha will then be allocated the subsequent crime scene and completed the related crime scene report. A total of 22 exhibits were identified at the Vereeniging crime scene, depicting in Annexure LIM1, namely 6 times AK-47 fired bullets, 10 times cartridge cases fired from 9mm pistol, 4 times bullets fired from another 9mm pistol, and 2 bullets core fired from an AK-47 assault rifle. From our observation and processing of the Vereeniging crime scene, we could tell that an AK-47 assault rifle had been used. However, there were no AK-47 cartridge cases at the scene.
Captain, can you just pause there and just explain when you say that you could tell that an AK-47 assault rifle had been used? What do you mean by that?
Our preliminary investigation at the crime scene suggested that an AK-47 rifle was used because at the scene we found the bullet core, 6 bullet cores of AK-47 and 2 bullet cores of AK-47 and 6 AK-47 fired bullets. And I would expect to find the AK-47 cartridge cases because they should have been ejected at the scene, but there were no AK-47 cartridge cases at the scene.
Can you explain a scenario? Why would, under what circumstances would the cartridges not be found? Where now there is at least prima facie evidence that an AK-47 was fired, but the cartridges would not be found. Can you give us the scenario?
It can be different scenarios, commissioners. One of the scenario could be that because AK-47 rifle has got a long barrel, it could be the shooter was inside the vehicle when a shot was fired and it ejected inside the vehicle. So it will leave the crime scene with the vehicle when the shooter leaves the crime scene.
Almost like a drive-by.
Yes, commissioners.
Thank you. You can continue at paragraph 15.
Perhaps because you joined the commission very late and long after the evidence had commenced. We have testimony from witnesses, the detectives. We have testimony that AK-47 cartridges were found at the Bramley scene, contained in a, was it a plastic bag? In a plastic bag. So the inference is that they must have been picked up, collected, and stuck into that plastic bag.
I accept to be one proposition, but I think it's also plausible what he says that when the projectiles chair, but I accept that ultimately they were found inside a bag in a vehicle at a different scene. Thank you, Chair.
Well, thank you, Mr. Musugire.
Captain, you can proceed. We are at paragraph 15.
Thanks, Commissioners. While processing the scene, all the officers at the scene were advised by an officer who is unknown to me that information has been received that a group of people who were suspects of the shooting in Vereeniging have been arrested in Bramley. The case number lodged for the said arrest is case 149 of 4/2024 Bramley case. It was communicated that the suspect at the Bramley scene have been apprehended with the firearms, including an AK-47 assault rifle, and that one of the suspect was a police officer. After receiving the aforementioned information, we continue to process the Vereeniging scene until conclusion. While Warrant Officer Masha and I were finalizing the processing of the Vereeniging crime scene, we received a call from our commander, Lieutenant Colonel Mangena. Lieutenant Colonel Mangena informed us that there is a crime scene in Bramley and inquire whether we are going to attend the crime scene. We are going to attend the crime scene. Warrant Officer Masha indicated that we will not attend the Bramley crime scene as there was no shooting. Only an arrest and seizure of firearms were executed. Lieutenant Colonel Mangena accepted our reason for not attending the Bramley crime scene. We also informed him that we were already scheduled to travel to Piet Retief in Mpumalanga province to process another crime scene there. Warrant Officer Masha indicated that Warrant Officer Malani indicated that because firearms confiscated at the Bramley scene are alleged to be associated with the murder in Vereeniging, he would require a ballistic comparison of the fired cartridge cases against the firearms. Due to my knowledge of how ballistic case files are allocated in the ballistic section and the related backlog of work, I knew that the Bramley and Vereeniging exhibits were going to be analyzed separately and that the Bramley exhibit will likely not to be processed as quickly as the Vereeniging case, as there was no ballistic analyst in attendance at the Bramley. I then advised Warrant Officer Malan that he submit a letter requesting that the analysis of the exhibits for the two cases be meshed. On the 23rd April 2024, the forensic lab received an exhibit from Vereeniging case which were delivered by Warrant Officer Sithole. The Bramley case exhibits were also delivered on the same day by Sergeant Mohali. Lab number 193-045 of 24 was generated in the Forensic Science Laboratory admin system, FSL system, for the Bramley case, and lab number 193-051 of 24 generated for the Vereeniging case. The receiving of exhibits for the Bramley and Vereeniging cases on the 23rd April 2024 were recorded as first entries in the FSL's admin system. The Vereeniging case was assigned to me on the 8th May 2024 on an FSL admin system, and I collected the case file on 9 May 2024. Contained In the case file was a letter prepared by Warrant Officer Malan, wherein a request was made that Vereeniging and Bramley exhibits be analyzed and compared against each other. As indicated earlier, the Vereeniging case file was assigned to me since I was the one to complete the crime scene report and conducted analysis based on my agreement with Warrant Officer Masha. In this regard, a second entry was recorded on FSL system, admin system on 25 April 2024 to register for Vereeniging crime scene. This entry was assigned to me on 20 May 2024. While the second entry for the crime scene was only assigned to me on the 20 May 2024. I had completed the crime scene report on 15 May 2024. It is worth mentioning that once a case is assigned to an analyst on FSL admin system, the assigned analyst is expected to complete the analysis within 14 days from the date the case was assigned. I began my ballistic analysis on the Vereeniging exhibits on 9 May 2024. The Bramley case was also assigned to me on FSL admin system on 20 May 2024, and I collected the case file on 24 May 2024. The Bramley case report marked herein as Annexure LIM2 had a total of 225 exhibits, namely 1 AK-47 assault rifle, 96 cartridges for AK-47 assault rifle, 1 CZ Browning 9mm pistol, 1 Sauer Parabellum 9mm pistol, 3 magazines for the Parabellum 9mm pistol, 1 Taurus Parabellum 9mm pistol, including 1 cartridge loaded with a pistol, 15 AK-47 assault rifle cartridge cases, 2 9mm Parabellum cartridge cases, 91 9mm Parabellum cartridges, and 13 cartridges for a CZ Browning 9mm short pistol. I conducted and completed my analysis on the Bramley exhibits on the 24 May 2024. This included the comparison of those exhibits with the Vereeniging exhibits. Upon completion of my analysis, I prepared and signed my Section 212 statement, also referred to as a report, and submitted it to Colonel Mulagadi for review. I did not receive any query or feedback from Colonel Mulagadi.
Captain, when we move to the next paragraph, please be sensitive of the issues that we mentioned. Refer to the named person there as witness B. Thank you.
Just before you go to paragraph 30, did Colonel Munakadi in fact review your section 212 statement? Or did it just come back the way it was when you gave it to him?
Commissioners, when we sent a case for review, you're either going to receive a case back when there is a mistake on a case to rectify. If there is no mistake to rectify, the case goes further for completion and for archiving.
So let's clarify this. If you give it to Colonel Munakadi for review and he does not require you to correct anything, then it does not come back to you.
It doesn't come
goes
back.
For archiving.
Yes, Commissioners.
Which is what happened in this case.
Commissioners, you will get it when I go through the statement.
Right.
But as it is, where it is now, looking at the date difference, I will assume that when 5 days has lapsed, depending on the backlog, because even Colonel Mlakali doesn't review a case immediately when you bring it to her. You will put it in a box, and there's a sequence of cases So basically, it's first in, first out. So I'll assume that either it is reviewed and passed the review, or either it's not reviewed.
And your assumption was based on that last sentence of paragraph 29, where you say, I did not receive any queries or feedback.
That's correct, Commissioner.
Thanks.
In June 2024, I was contacted by witness B, the investigating officer on Favour case, who had come to FSL to request the ballistic analysis report. Witness B was accompanied by 2 other officers. I then went to ask Colonel Mulagadi about the report, informing her that the investigating officers for the Favour case have come to collect the report. It was at that point that I became aware that Colonel Mulagadi had not started reviewing the report since my submission on the 24 May 2024. I then advised witness B and her team that the report is not complete, as it was still with Colonel Mulagadi. Colonel Mulagadi started reviewing the report while the investigating officers were at FSL. While Colonel Mulagadi was conducting her review, I offered the investigating officer space in the office to sit while they waited for the report. Colonel Mulagadi started reviewing the report. Colonel Mulagadi started reviewing the report while the investigating officers were at the FSA. While Colonel Mulagadi conducted the review, I offered the investigating officer space in my office to sit while they were waiting for the report. Colonel Mulagadi highlighted amendments that I needed to make on the report. I then took the report and made my way to my office and informed witness B and her team that there were amendments that I need to make before I could give them a report. I made the amendments on specific pages, printed the pages where the amendments were made, and replaced the pages in the report with the amendment pages. I then took the report back to Mulagadi and returned with a final version. I then gave the reviewed version of the report to witness B. Thereafter, she and her team left. It is worth mentioning that when making changes in the report before issuing it to witness B in June 2024, I did not print the entire report and have it commissioned with a new date. I only took the amendment pages, attached my initials, requested the person who commissioned the first report on 24 May 2024 to also initialize amended pages and replace the respective pages in the old report. This, commissioners, was a common practice in the ballistic department, as it can be seen by annexure LIM 3. It is worth mentioning at this point that I have been accused of allegedly having informed the investigating officers that Favour and Bramley cases were linked to other high-profile cases when they collected the ballistic report in June 2024. I would like to state categorically that I never made such a statement to the investigating officers. The only linkage I was aware of at the date I gave the investigating officers the report was the firearm confiscated during the arrest of the suspect in Bramley on the 17th April 2024. were the same ones used in the murder of the victim in Vereeniging. I was aware of this link between the Bramley and Vereeniging cases because I conducted the ballistic analysis on the exhibits for the two cases. Thus, I'm not certain whether the investigating officers misconstrued the linkages between those two cases to mean there were links with other cases besides those two cases. Furthermore, the images of the samples used during my ballistic analysis had not been acquired on IB's system at the date I gave the report to Witness B in June 2024. As such, there were no way that I would have been able to know if there are any links between the Vereeniging and Bramley cases with any other cases, since such links can only be identified after images of the samples are acquired on IBs. I have been made aware that the acquisition of the images relating to the Bramley case was only done on 6 September 2024 by Warrant Officer Modise. It should be noted that I was not a member of IB's subsection during the time I conducted the ballistic analysis on the Vereeniging and Bramley exhibit. I only joined IB's subsection on 1st December 2024. On the 12th, 2024, a third entry was recorded on FSL admin system relating to receipt of additional exhibits of the Vereeniging case, which were bullets retrieved from the deceased body. This entry was assigned to me on 11 October 2024. I completed the ballistic analysis of the exhibit's bullets and issued a Section 212 affidavit dated 14 October 2024. Queries raised on the ballistic report. On the 21st October 2024, I received an email from Colonel Motsepe, one of our commanders in the ballistic section, instructing me to attend to queries that senior